everybody.
It says we're live, so let me just double check over here.
Okay, we are checking on a few technical matters. Kevin's telling me that we're live.
Well, red light says we're live.
Red light says we're live. That's good to know for future reference.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. It is.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
right
on
there.
The camera. Look
It's
at
right
that.
there. So I can stop goofing off when the red light goes on. Okay, we're going to give others just a few seconds to find the page and join the broadcast.
Here we go. We're live. You've got 6 people there now. Keeps going up.
All right, I have an audience of 6, so that is a quorum, and I will get started. What I have for you today is just a quick update on what happened at the Standard Forms Committee meeting at the winter business meetings. There was some important stuff discussed. The first update that I have for you is the Oil, Gas, and Mineral Rights Forms Library. We had a task force. The chair was Bill Them. They are now finished meeting because their forms have been approved by the committee. So the forms that you'll see for use in July are the OGM, which is a replacement of the current form. It's an addendum to the agreement of sale. The previous form was an addendum and a disclosure. The task force felt that the current form was lacking in a few areas and that it was best to split it into 2 forms. So that's what they did. You'll still have an OGM. It will just look different. The next form that they did is an OGMD, which is the Oil, Gas, and Mineral Rights Disclosure Form. It is also a replacement of the OGM, and it expands on the questions that are currently being asked. The third form that the task force did is called the OGMX, and it is the addendum to the listing contract. And it's a completely new form. It's meant to be used when the listing agent meets with the seller and fills out the listing contract. And that just provides the agent with some more information about the subsurface rights of the property that's being sold. So thank you, Oil, Gas, and Mineral Rights Task Force. You did a great job. Your forms were approved. The next set of forms that were approved came from the Residential Lease Task Force, and that was chaired by Christina Cardone. They are still doing some work on the exclusive listing for rent contract and the lease itself. So if you have any comments or suggestions for those 2 forms, please feel free to email me, but do it quickly because we're going to be meeting at the end of this month. The forms that were approved that you'll see in July are the application decision, and this was updated to comply with Fair Credit Reporting Act requirements. The pet addendum to the residential lease, they made a few updates, including a note to remind landlords that guide and support animals are not pets. The third was the rental application, and this was meant to replace the rental application for represented tenants. So we used to have the RART for represented tenants, and we had the RARL for represented landlords. People were getting those forms confused. So we changed the names and hopefully made it simpler. On the rental application, certain amendments were suggested, including the addition of a paragraph to comply with fair housing guidance on consideration of an applicant's criminal history. The same change was made to the next form, which is the RALA, the rental application for landlord agents. The only difference is the consumer notice. So if you look at the 2 forms, you'll see that there is a special consumer notice provided for one of these contracts. The other one uses the regular consumer notice, the full one. So in order to help our members remember which one is which, we've made them very specific to that use. Speaking of looking at the forms, you can see all of these forms on the Standard Forms webpage. If you go to parealtor.org,
The link is in the comments.
the link is in the comments. Thank you, Kevin. If you go to parealtor.org and Standard Forms webpage, you have to filter by 2017 revisions. And there you will see what we call the educational copies. It's the red, blue, black versions of the forms, so you can see exactly what changes were made. The other change that was made at the Standard Forms Committee meeting dealt with the agreement of sale and everyone's favorite form and everyone's favorite topic, FERPTA. Paragraph 23 is apparently causing some major confusion amongst the members. And so what the committee decided to do was to revert back to the old paragraph 23 that you would find in the February 2016 version of the agreement of sale. So no check boxes, no mention of foreign person, just a brief description of what FERPTA is and what the buyer's responsibility is under FERPTA. That will be in effect shortly, I would say within the next few weeks. Keep an eye on Just Listed and communications from PAR so you know exactly when that is happening. And a FERPTA task force was appointed to review how FERPTA is mentioned in the forms library. So I'm accepting volunteers for that task force right now if you'd like to help. But we'll go back to the old paragraph until we decide how it should be referenced in the agreement of sale and the rest of the forms. So that is all of the update I have for you this time. I hope you like these videos. They will be saved to YouTube and our Facebook page. There's a members only Facebook group. I'm not sure if all of you are aware. Kevin will drop a link in the comments for this broadcast, and you can submit your request to join that group. If you have any suggestions for future broadcasts, we would really appreciate that. So either put your suggestions in the comments or you can email me or Kevin. And unless there's something important from the comments that we're seeing, no? All is well in Forms World. Okay, thank you everyone.
Ooh. There we go. I'm trying.